Welcome back to the show. We talked about self-care a little bit earlier on in the week, and we're going to discuss it again today because it's incredibly important and because most of us don't do enough of it. I am joined by self-care coach, speaker, and author, Nicole Dauz. Nicole, welcome to the show. Great to have you here. And Nicole, I think we all have sort of a different idea of self-care. How would you describe self-care?
Hi, Derek. For me, it's quite simple. I say it's anything that brings us joy, as long as it's legal.
Right.
So I break it down even more, saying that there's no right or wrong way to practice self-care, and we all deserve it. And there's no judgment and there's no comparison when we do it.
Nicole, tell me this. Why are you so passionate about this particular subject, self-care?
Yeah. So I am the proud mother of a 14-year-old daughter who has autism and a rare genetic disease. And so early in my caregiver journey, I was operating from a place of survival mode. And survival mode simply means surviving and, not living.
Right.
And I hit a wall about 5 years in. And I realized, when you are a parent of a child who will require lifelong support, you start to look at how you're caring for yourself in a very different lens. And so that's when I decided I needed to start putting myself first so I didn't end up emergency again.
Yeah, and if you don't mind sort of sharing those because I know that there are probably a lot of viewers out there that perhaps have, children with some type of challenge, right? And I think we all could say, we all go through different challenges in our lives. But how would you describe, how that, affected you so personally and describe that kind of moment again where you went, okay, I have to do something about this?
I think one of the challenges for parent caregivers or any caregiver, family caregiver, is so much of it happens behind closed doors. So we believe we're alone.
Right.
And we don't share so much of what we're experiencing because we're like, oh, no one will understand what we're going through. So when we keep all of the challenges within, we are burying our emotions, and it's almost like we're in denial. And when we tell everyone we're doing fine, they believe it, and then they stop offering support or asking how we're doing. Right. And so for me, it was the drive in the ambulance to the hospital because I had a full-on panic attack where all I could think of is, who's going to take care of my son and daughter? Mm-hmm. What's going to happen? And so I believe if we understand that our bodies are always talking to us, and so often people wait till that diagnosis or that trip in the ambulance before they take the signs that their body's telling them seriously. And so why I'm so passionate about self-care is I really break it down into daily actions, small steps. What can people do every day to add a little bit of joy into their day so they can enjoy life? Because that's really what it's all about.
Yeah.
So they then they show up as better versions of themselves in every role that they play, especially as a parent caregiver.
Very well said. Well, so Nicole, let's talk about some of those things that you would suggest and that you would advise to people when it comes to, bringing some of that daily joy into our lives.
Well, I call these my back pocket tips because you can take them wherever you go. And one of the things when I'm working with parent caregivers, I focus on removing barriers. So these don't cost any money. You don't need to leave the house, and you can do them from anywhere. Okay. So it's really making them accessible. And the first one is breathing. You're like, yeah, thanks, Nicole. But Derek, I would love for you to engage with on this one. So what we're going to do is quickly do box breathing. And I'm going to count you for 4 seconds. Okay? So I want you to breathe in. Okay, I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, release. 1, 2, 3, 4, and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pretty simple, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Believe it or not, if we were to repeat that 10 times, that may take not even 2 minutes, it would send a signal to your body that you were safe. It would relax your body. It would reduce your heart rate and even your blood pressure. And that's just at 2 minutes. And why this is so important is if something happens, say you find yourself you're traveling with your child, or you get an email that is unpleasant, you can stop. You can do this breathing exercise from anywhere, and it's just a reset before you react or go on to the next thing.
All right, something I will practice. Sorry, go ahead. On to your next one.
Is hugging. Now, obviously, because when you are a caregiver, it means you're caring for someone, appreciating that not every autistic child likes to be touched. Thankfully, my daughter is a hugger.
Okay.
So what hugging does is it helps co-regulate. And what it, again, sends your body a signal that you're safe. So you're just taking that person and you're hugging them. And it can be 10 seconds, 20 seconds. I do this with my daughter when she's upset, and I can literally feel her body relax in my arms. And another great tip, I say, are mantras.
Oh, okay.
So, yes. So when you are feeling the emotions and they come strong, it's not like they knock, like they just arrive.
Right.
And if you can catch yourself 1 or 2 seconds before you react, that's where some magic happens. And one of the mantras I've come up with is, it's not her fault.
Oh, I like that.
And what that allows me to do is I see her behavior and I see red. And then I'm like, it's not her fault. It's not her fault. And it really allows me to then drop to a place of compassion and then react in a much better way.
Nicole, very quickly, I just have a few seconds left here. You've written a wonderful book called Self-Care from the Trenches. Where can people pick up a copy?
It's on Amazon.
Okay.
So if you go to NicoleDauz.com, you can find the link there.
Terrific. We brought that website up on screen. Thanks so much for the time, Nicole. Really appreciate it. We'll be back with more Daytime right after this.